But as time has gone on and the world has become more dangerous, power keeps flowing to the president. And the way that it happens is a crisis arises. The president feels an imperative to act. Congress would like to avoid responsibility because, if you vote for the wrong thing, you can be voted out of office. And then when it gets to the courts, they either approve the president's power or they decline to rule, leaving his actions in place. And the result of this interaction, this synergistic dysfunction, is that the president keeps acquiring more and more unilateral power. I think it's important to tell the story in a way that doesn't present all presidents as evil. Some presidents seize power, like George W. Bush and Trump. Some presidents use the power unilaterally, but in a reactive fashion, like Obama and Biden. But whatever happens, with each successive administration, the power keeps moving more and more toward the president. And then the president acquires resources to allow him to exercise that power, and it becomes increasingly concentrated. Just to give a subtle example, but one that probably people don't know about, I was in the Biden administration at the first days in 2021. January 2021, which was in the middle of the pandemic. And it turned out that most of the people couldn't report to work. And so we were sworn in remotely and told to come in, 1 or 2 days a week. And they had a rule in the agencies, the State Department where I was working, where only 25% of the staff were allowed there at any one time. But at the White House, they had constant COVID testing and they were at full strength. So during that period, which was the first 10 months, all power flowed to the White House. And the agencies were vastly reduced in their importance because all decisions are being made by the people who are all working together in this small space. Now, I don't think that was anybody's fault. It wasn't evil, but it just continued this trend. And so I think the main point is that the historical pattern, which I point to in my book, is over and over and over. The president has this incentive to monopolize. Congress has an incentive to acquiesce, and the courts have an incentive to rubber stamp. And the net result of that is that all three branches push power to the president. And then you suddenly have a situation where you have a president who relishes this power and wants to use it in particular ways, and there's no real check on his power.